So good day everyone. We are the group 4 and we are assigned to discuss the economic geography. So by the way, I am Maria Locson and my co-members Tiloy Jameson, Epon Dennis, Baho Arbel, Ibanez Anajoy and Juanilio Judian. So let us define first our objectives. So by the end of this section, you will be able to explain the role of the Industrial Revolution in the growth and diffusion of industrialization. Students will know that industrialization began in response to new technologies and was facilitated by the availability of natural resources. Example, water power, coal, iron, and more. B. The diffusion of industrialization led to growing populations and increased food supplies which freed workers to seek industrial jobs in cities. C. Increased industrialization led to demands for raw materials and the search for new markets and was a factor in the rise of colonialism and imperialism. Now, I will discuss the diffusion of the Industrial Revolution. The heart of the Industrial Revolution was Great Britain in the 18th century. As people learned to use water power and coal energy to manufacture goods, they saw large increases in agricultural productivity, population, and wealth. Industrialization has diffused throughout the world, reshaping all aspects of life. So, the Industrial Revolution began in Britain mainly because of the abundance of coal. Liverpool and Manchester were the major early industrial cities in the UK. Also, the location makes it easy to import raw materials and export finished goods to and from France and other railroad countries in northwestern Europe. Mercantilism helped England to get raw materials from colonies that other European powers did not have access to. This caused imperialism and colonialism to grow in other European powers. So when we say imperialism is the policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. And when we say colonialism refers to the policy or practice of a country seeking to extend or maintain its authority over other territories, often by establishing settlements and occupying the land. Industrialization happens because of the growth of large-scale manufacturing economic activities in a region. It can usually lead to favoring commercial farming over subsistence. With the growth of coal manufacturing, water power was not as important in the location of factories as much as new raw materials like coal. Powered most new factories as industrialization diffused into northwestern mainland Europe and America. Industrialization changed the relationship that existed between cities and their surrounding rural areas. In pre-industrial times, cities consumed foodstuff produced in rural areas but produced little that rural areas need in return. As a result, some historians describe pre-industrial cities as economically parasitic. Following the Industrial Revolution, cities became urgent centers of production and were able to offer a wide variety of manufactured goods to rural areas. Becoming vital centers of production as well as consumption, Europe experienced the development of the major cities of its realm during this period. In England, for example, in 18s, only 9% of the population live in urban areas. By 90s, some 82% were urban dwellers. So development of electrical power and the construction of new roads, canals, and harbors added more locations for factories. Improvements in farm machinery and farming techniques, along with the enclosure movement, increased agricultural productivity. Machine power replaced human and animal power and people in rural areas were no longer needed for labor. These workers moved to towns and cities, causing an explosion in urban population. The growth and population and cities. Cities grew rapidly. Number of industries in factory cities increased. Rural, urban migration continued. London population went from 1 million to 6 million people from 80s to 90s. So, Arbel Bajo will explain furtherly the growth and population and cities.
The rises of industrial revolution, the cities expanded upward, the invention of elevators, stronger and more affordable steel, and techniques to create stronger foundations. However, the cities expanded outward, including improvements in intra-urban transportations, and people could live further and commute to work, and food could be transported from the countryside into cities to feed a growing population. There are many and different changes in cities when industrial revolution occurs. The invention of elevators and improvements in transportations that makes people's lives become comfortable and easy access to social life, and also the commuters or those who resided in the suburbs but commuted into the city for work started to rise. The Industrial Revolution built on the earlier rise of imperialism, a policy of extending a country's political and economic power, including Great Britain and France, are industrialized countries. They recognize the value of controlling trading posts and colonies around the world. The Industrial Revolution was built under the influence of the imperialism, a policy of extending a country's political and economic power. France and Great Britain are industrialized countries and has the power to control trade and are colonizers that offers great contributions to the economy. The raw materials, the labor to extract raw materials, markets where manufacturers could sell finished products, and ports where trading ships could stop to get resupplies, and profits to use for investing in new factories, canals, and railroads. The 19th century saw a shift from a system of cottage industry, people would weave clothes and make products in their homes, to a system of large factories with machines powered by water or coal. Fordism refers to a way of economic life developed around the mass production of consumer goods using assembly line techniques. In the 20th century, Henry Ford developed the assembly line, which led to the communist and capitalist country belief that it may be sufficiently productive to accomplish communism goals and that consumers would value cheaper prices. A few large companies came to dominate the key sectors of the economy. They dictated the market and dictated what consumers will be offered. However, because the production line was so monotonous, the workers were bored. Fordism changed manufacturing to post-Fordism. The lack of variety, every product was identical to every other product and not everyone wanted a black car. Gradually, companies modified the assembly process to include more goods, but these changes added cost and time to production. In recent years, computers and technology allows for every product to be different. Workers are being replaced by machines in the US between 1984 and 2015, and its industrial output doubled but industrial employment declined by one-third. And machines can work 24 hours a day with no breaks or vacations, and they produce consistent and high-quality work.